We're going to talk about evaluating expressions. And in order to do this, we've already learned what an expression is. In order to do this, we need to be given an expression and some variable values. So we have to be told what the variable is. And this is not usually going to be the case in math, but the reason that we're doing this as a lesson is that we want to know exactly how to evaluate expressions and plug in variables, and that's really the term that we're trying to take away here today, is plugging in the given variable values. Okay, so I want you to just remember to plug in right there. So when you are given an expression and the values of your variables, you just plug in the variable values and follow the order of operations to simplify the math. So an example would be negative 5a plus 2b, and we're told that a equals 2 and b equals negative 3. Okay, so if this is the case, then the a is simply going to go in right here, and the b is simply going to go in right here. Okay, so if a is 2 and b is negative 3, then our expression is going to become negative 5 times a plus 2 times b. Okay, and then just using order of operations, we have to do the multiplication here and the multiplication here. So this will be a negative 10, and then this is a negative 6, so plus a negative 6 is just minus 6, and so that leaves us with negative 16. Here's another example, AB, which means A times B, don't forget that, A times B, plus C, where A is 5, B is negative 4, and C is 3. So if this is the case, then the A is just going to go in right there, and then it'll be multiplied by the b, which is just going to go in right there, and then we're going to add c, which is coming from there. Okay, so a is 5 times b plus c. So that's a negative 20 plus 3, which is a negative 17. Okay? Now, and it's also a good idea to box in your answers when you are done, just so that it's easy to tell what is your answer. Let's look at a couple more complicated examples. A plus c over b plus a over b plus c. Now, if you think about the order of operations, multiplication and division take power over addition and subtraction. And so what that means for a situation like this is when you have addition or subtraction in a numerator or a denominator, those are actually locked in until you deal with the division. So this right here is actually locked in as a little package right there, and so is this one. These are locked in, so you have to work backwards. Remember, we're working backwards to do these. Okay, so those are locked in. You cannot access those until you either deal with the denominators and get common denominators, or some other technique, and we'll be learning about more of those this year. So I just want to make it clear that that's locked in and that's locked in. So I'm not going to draw the arrows anymore because there's a lot of arrows going on now. So A plus C over B plus A over B plus C. Okay, and so this is locked in and this is locked in. So this is 3 plus 7 is 10 over negative 2 plus 3 over 5. Now I can't add these unless I get common denominators here, so let's get a common denominator. So with 2 and 5, the least common multiple is going to be 10. So I have to multiply this by 5 over 5, and I have to multiply this by, and the negative doesn't really matter, so this is 2 over 2. And the negative doesn't matter because I can just write it up top or write it out front. It's all the same thing. So if I'm simplifying this now, I'm going to have 50 over 10 plus 6 over 10. And this first one is a negative, so I'll just put the negative up there. And so I can now simplify this, and I get negative 50 plus 6, which is negative 44. Okay, and then of course I could rewrite this if I wanted to. I can simplify this by 2, and I can simplify this by 2. So I'm really getting a negative 22 over 5 right there. Okay? Now the last example we're going to do is here. 2x cubed, remember x cubed, this means 2 times x cubed, minus x squared plus y, and here's our x and y. Okay? So this is saying that 2 times x cubed minus x squared plus y is just going to be minus 2, because if I'm adding a negative 2, that's the same as subtracting 2. So using the order of operations here, I have to do the exponent first, so 3 cubed is 27. 3 squared is 9 minus 2. Okay? So 2 times 27 is 54 minus 9 minus 2. So this is 54 minus 11, which is 43.